Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Bob! See? Not yet. All right, that's good. And then we got better. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Miller. Okay, we got better. And then we got it right. Ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Miller. And then that's our practice. Now let's nail it. Our second hero tonight, our second hero for the month of January, St. Louis firefighter William Keys. Big welcome. Welcome to Super Sunday. And just have a seat. We're going to talk about a few things. We'll do our best. You're welcome. This one's for the firefighters. You give a little volume to them. Blue. All right.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. You're ready. All right. Well, first off, I introduced you. Your name is William Keys, and you work for the St. Louis Fire Department.
St. Louis City Fire.
St. Louis City Fire Department. And what firehouse is it?
Well, I am at Engine House 23. Everyone that lives in this neighborhood is right down the street at 6500 Michigan.
6500 Michigan, which is about 4 or 5 blocks that way.
Right.
So, all right. And one of the things I know about a month ago, one of the women here on Sunday morning got sick, and we had to call 911 for her. And guess who showed up? William Keys and the rest of his team showed up, which I thought was pretty cool because I need to talk to him anyways, and God kind of just brought him to our church so I could, I guess. And well, you helped Natalie out too.
That's how it all works sometimes.
All right, so go ahead. We'll start with your career. What was your first job that you ever had? First job.
Wow.
I think we're showing his age.
Well, first of all, I've been a firefighter for 22 years. That's a long time.
All right, is anybody in here, are you 22 years old? Christopher is getting ready to turn 21.
Yeah.
Grace is 22. So you started in 1990?
All the way back in 91.
91. Oh yeah, well, 91.
Yeah. Wow. My first actual call on the fire department.
Just talking about your first job, no matter what it is.
Oh,
Worked at McDonald's or
my first job. Interestingly enough, I was 14 when I got my first job.
14.
And my first job was actually at a church.
At a church, all right.
Involved a youth organization similar to this. And every year we went to camp. I don't know if you're all familiar with Camp Tambo, or if it still existed back when I was your age. I went to camp every year. And I belonged to an organization called Fellowship Center, which is downtown now. They no longer exist. But I was involved with youth when I was a youth myself.
That's very cool.
It's actually my first job.
Okay, and then, so take us from there, and what made you, what you hop from job to job, or?
Well, my second job, if I go through all, my second job, I worked at it's in California now, but a dessert restaurant actually called Cookies and More.
Sounds
I
delicious.
was in the West End. That's back when I remember I saw my first cookie. That was about that big, and for you little ones, mom and dad takes you to the store and you get a big bag of cookies, and you got your chips and chocolate chips and all that in there. Well, where I worked at, they used to sell big cookies like that, and they cost $2 a piece. This was all the way back in the 80s. But that was actually my first job where I just catch the bus to my job. And then after that, a little after that, I joined the military. And so I was a soldier for a few years.
Oh, wow.
And I did not join the fire department until my stint in the military was over. And I came back home with my dad, who worked with the city at the time, told me that the fire department was looking for people that wanted to be firemen. And so
So did you do, when you were in the military, did you do any type of firefighting?
no firefighting in the military, but I did learn a lot about teamwork and a lot about...
Which on your job is very important.
Very important. I learned a lot about responsibility. I learned a lot of discipline. And it was very helpful for me going forward in life.
Okay, so we appreciate your service that you put forth into the military as well. So now you joined the fire department, and you just filled out an application. They accepted it, and you started.
Well, sort of. One of the requirements was that I be a high school graduate, or at least have a GED. So I realized how important my education was back then, and how it helped me move forward. Had I not had a diploma, I never would have been able to get on the fire department.
Very good.
So staying in school for me was important.
Okay, so and did you go through the fire academy?
Through the fire academy.
How long?
I'm really excited about the fire academy, and it wasn't easy, but it's actually more advanced now than it was when I came on. It was a lot longer when I came in, but yeah. So you had to be in reasonably good shape to pass the obstacle.
See how he's looking at me right now. All right, well, let's continue this interview. I'll stay behind this chair. I'm in good shape. All right. No. Oh, my feelings aren't hurt. Okay, so you went through the fire academy. And you graduated in order to become a firefighter, which was back in 1991.
And back then it was 8 weeks of school, 8 weeks of training.
8 weeks of training. Ooh. I don't know about that. That's why I'm a deliver oxygen. It took a week and a half of training. And I worked hard, but we're not talking about me.
Well, that's how I actually learned how to drive the fire truck and how to fight fire. And again,
so it's not just as easy as just point the hose at a fire.
there is a technique to it.
Technique.
Yes, even to putting water on the fire.
All right. So let's kind of go off a little bit for a second. We asked this of our DEA agent, for our special agent. We asked him. He's telling a story about how when he started as a police officer, and I asked him what was his funniest story that he could remember as a police officer. So I'm asking you, what's your funniest story as a firefighter that you've either done yourself or that you've seen someone do, or
Oh, wow.
if you got more than one, we like to laugh. So.
Well,
I mean, I know
in my line of work, you have to pick your moments because it's very dangerous. But I would say there were times when I've seen guys that were accidentally sprayed in the face with the hole.
Are you?
No, not me. No, not me. When you're in a building fighting a fire, sometimes if you don't do something as simple as open the windows, you come in with the hose and the fire is up to the ceiling. If you make the mistake of putting the fire out or knocking it down, as we call it, without opening the windows, when that steam comes out, where is that steam going to go? It's going to come back on the firefighter. So I've seen guys run in the building and open that hose up and run back out faster than they run in. But moments like that.
And on your job, now you guys, it's not all about fighting fires. You do other things as well. you show up. I know a lot of times, well, just like here that Sunday, we called for an ambulance and the fire department showed up. Why does the fire department show up for something like that?
Well, what some people may not know is that there are a lot of medically trained firefighters. And even now, the requirement before you can become a firefighter is you have to be trained in emergency medical services. So we come, when the fire truck shows up, a lot of times it's because we are more readily available than the medicine, which may be still at the hospital. So we show up, let's say someone is short of breath or someone has asthma, what have you, you're going to need a quick response. Well, there are a lot of firemen on the fire trucks that are trained to be able to handle small incidents like that.
And one thing I noticed too, they sent a fire truck and there was 4 guys on it. You and then 3 others. And so you guys can't just one of you just leave while the other 3 stay back and relax.
That's a crew. And that's what the teamwork is all about. To make that truck run, you need everyone. You basically do need everyone on the call, from the driver to the captain to the leadoff man, which is the guy that normally has the fire hose. When you see the guy with the fire hose in his hand, that's who we call our leadoff guy. He's the one that leads off with the fire hose.
And then you guys
have what we call a plug man. And that's the guy who takes the big yellow line. You guys see the big yellow line that comes out of the back of the fire truck, connects up to the fire hydrant. Well, the plug man is the one that normally connects up. And then you have the captain. You identify him by his light blue shirt. And he's normally the one that's in charge and does the directing. He's also responsible for the safety of all the rest of the firefighters.
Okay, so knowing what the lead man does and what the plug man does, let's say the plug man just don't feel up to it that day. Then what?
Well, then we could be in a lot of trouble.
And you out there spraying.
And even if he is feeling up to it that day, sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes, very seldom, but if something happens with the equipment, or sometimes we go to hydrants and we try to turn the hydrant, but it may be stripped because sometimes we have, well, especially when it's hot. You know, you are driving and you see the hydrants open and kids are playing in the hydrant. Well, that's not as good as it looks for us because sometimes those hydrants get damaged because they can be played with. So when there's a real fire,
they're not toys.
They're not toys. Look, I understand people trying to keep cool, but sometimes it's bad for us. We get a call and we hook up to a hydrant, and maybe there's
those same people are probably pretty upset if you came to put out the fire at their house and you couldn't get the fire hydrant to work. All right. Okay. Now, so and you guys have to show up on accident scenes. You probably see some pretty rough stuff, which we don't have to talk about. But we talked about teamwork, how important teamwork is on your job. Everybody has a job to do, and in order to make a fire truck run right, everybody's got to be in their place doing their job.
absolutely.
And without that, it's like having a broken fire truck, basically. If somebody gets mad, I'm not doing it.
And you hope that doesn't happen.
So you can get to an argument or something before you go out on a call, and you got to put all that aside or whatever.
Absolutely.
Okay, and another thing I learned, and I'll let you explain to them. Now, you have a house and everything that you live in,
Sure.
and so they call you and tell you when to come into work, or how do you know when to get on the fire truck to go out?
Where's the loudspeaker?
There's a speaker.
We have a dispatch unit. If let's say I'm short of breath right now. Well, everyone knows the emergency number to call if there's an emergency, right? What's that emergency number?
Hey, wait. Let's let Savannah tell us. She that's right on the fire truck earlier. Savannah, you want to tell them what you wrote down?
911.
No, you did not. She wrote 991. Does that get any? Bless her. We love her.
Well, 991 probably wouldn't be coming, but do all of you children, do you all know the emergency number? If something happens, there's an emergency, like if your parents tell you to call the police or call the firefighters, you know which number to call on the phone? What is that number? That's it. Well, that's the first part. Once you dial that number, it goes to a dispatch unit. So you call the number, there'll be someone else on the other end of the line that will then call the fire department. And then the dispatch from the fire department will call my firehouse. And I may be eating.
And that probably takes like 20, 30 minutes to go through. No?
No, if someone's having a heart attack, you want them there in 5 minutes.
So how, now you just talked about
Or less.
having all those phone calls though. I mean, how quick is that?
Well, I would say from the time the phone call comes out until the time we get there, cannot be more than 4 minutes.
4 minutes to make 3 phone calls in a trip. That's pretty amazing.
Response time.
Now, what I was trying to ask earlier, you live at the firehouse, though, don't you?
Yes.
But you know, it's not your permanent residence. But you,
I'm there for 24 hours.
24 hours.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
then you're,
I work a 24-hour shift. So one day for me being at work would be like you being at work for 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
how many's jealous that works? I wish I had a schedule like that. All right. We talked
It's
to.
24 hours, so we eat there, we sleep there, we handle our business there. There are things that go on at home that we can't be a part of sometimes. We're never closed, so we do work.
So you guys don't get holidays?
No, there's not one day that we don't work.
It's pretty amazing. All right, so you guys know signing up to be a firefighter, it's hard to do. It's sometimes hard, isn't it? How hot does it get?
Well, how hot does it
Yeah,
get?
how? Because you guys can't take your jackets off whenever it's 90 degrees outside, 100 degrees outside.
Well, thousands of degrees at times, and it's not just the fire that's the hazard. More people are hurt or injured or even killed by the smoke, which is why it's very important to have working smoke detectors. Because when you sleep, you can't hear the fire and you can't smell it when you're asleep. It's very important to have smoke detectors to wake you up if there is a fire.
So everything plays its part to save lives. All right. Well, we're gonna play a clip real quick, and this obviously